Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for my live review of Arsenal 1, Chelsea 2. First of all, as you can see, clearly different surroundings. I'm at my girlfriend's house. It's also a little bit echoey, can't really change that right now. I hope the sound's not too bad. Also, the neighbours are being, well, not noisy, but you can just hear them. I'm not sure what the microphone will pick up. So I do apologise for all of those things. If they do bother you, can't help it, just gonna have to live with it. But I am absolutely buzzing today. I mean, what a comeback. What a comeback. I did not see it coming. You know, the last few weeks, the last month or so, as soon as we went a goal behind, we were like, okay, we've lost, basically. That's literally what I felt like. And I tweeted that today even. Anyone else think when there's no chance we're coming back? Yeah, you know, me neither kind of thing. And out of nowhere, we just pull it out of the bag. We just pull it out of the bag with Lampard making very brave substitutions, very early substitutions, and then some more brave substitutions in the second half. One of them, especially, I kind of questioned. It worked out in the end. You know, we turned it around from 1-0 down to 2-1. Late on in the game, we get the 3 points. London is still blue. I'm absolutely buzzing. Of course, if you're new to Blues Fans TV, please be sure to subscribe. Drop a like on this live stream if you're watching this right now. I massively appreciate that. Also, if you're watching it as a video later on, and also hit the notification button. That'd be cool. But let's just start it off with the lineup because Lampard got it wrong to start with. And to be honest, I thought the 3-4-3 would work today. I was wrong as well. I mean, I'm not meant to be right. Lampard is meant to be right, so he got it wrong. Again, you could almost say, but he did get it wrong. We started in a 3-4-3 again. Pretty much the exact same team as it was against Spurs, except that Emerson was in for Marcos Alonso. So it was Kepa in goal. Of course, the back three of Rudiger on the right, Zuma in the middle, and Tomori on as the left-sided centre-back, to two wing-backs of Azpilicueta and Emerson, of course, two centre-mids of Kante and Kovacic, and then a front three of Mason Mount, Willian, and Tammy Abraham. Early was Willian on the left, Mount on the right, and they changed around. They kind of interchanged a lot. Reece James was on the bench, out with an ankle problem. Pulisic was on the bench, out with a groin problem. And Marcos Alonso wasn't on the bench either. Don't know why he wasn't. But then instead, Mr. Tariq Lamptey, I think that's how you pronounce his first name, you know, he was on the bench instead. I will come to him. Wait. First of all, Zane, again, still not sure how to actually pronounce your name. Thank you for the £4.99 donation. You said we play better, that the just started London is red up the Arsenal and up. Not saying that. Yeah, I'm not sure you were necessarily better. You were better for half an hour. After that, it was just us, really. Plus, there one chance by Willock, was it? Which he absolutely bottled. But I appreciate the donation. And London is certainly not red. But let's just move on with that. So, like I say, Lamptey was on the bench as the fullback option, you could argue. And we go into the game and we were awful. Honestly, guys, we were so bad. We were, for that first half an hour, we were even worse than we were against Southampton. The only difference is that we had one half chance from a free kick when Willian played it out to Mount, and he just hit it pretty much straight at Leno. And we also had a chance from Zuma from a good cross by Aspie following a set piece anyway. And then Zuma, it's not a strike, is he? And he didn't get his foot on it. Could have done a bit better there. But by that point, I'm pretty sure we're 1-0 down already, as Aubameyang made it 1-0 in the 13th minute. Again from a corner. First, Tomori loses the header to Chambers. Tomori should do better there. And then Emerson, I don't know what he's doing. Like, that's just, like, that's awful. Like, that's, you know, on any scale of bad that we usually see our players defending set pieces, that was as bad as we've seen this season. Not saying no one else has done something as bad, but, you know, no one, like, it was very, very bad, basically. It was very bad. He's just caught ball watching. He knows that Aubameyang is behind him. Then he looks at the ball. Aubameyang just runs around him and heads it in. Another one that the Kepa haters will say, why isn't he saving it? And me, I'm saying, I'm not going to blame him for not saving it, but it would be cool if he could save those at some point. You know, those world-class goalkeepers, they do save those at some point, you know, just sometimes. Not always. You can't always save them. But sometimes maybe he could. But, you know, as the game goes on, we finally turn it around. Lampard turns it around and brings Jorginho on. And any Jorginho hater, everyone is like, oh, Jorginho does fuck all. You know, he gives us absolutely nothing just because he doesn't score, which he even did today, or doesn't assist and create much. If you still don't understand how and why Jorginho is so important to us, and if you just blame this on taking Emerson off, then sorry, but you're a bit thick in my opinion. I'm sorry, but you just are. Because after 34 minutes, Frank Lampard did take Emerson off without an injury and brought Jorginho on. First, Callum Chambers also had to come off with probably a cruciate ligament injury, which, I mean, as much as I don't like Arsenal, if that is that, you know, get well soon to him, because that's a bit, you know, harsh. Obviously, we don't want to see that in the sport. But yeah, we did make the substitution in the 34th minute, and it changes everything. It literally changes everything. First of all, of course, Aspie goes over to left back, and Tomori goes to right back, with Rudiger and Zuma as the two centre-backs in the back four, with Jorginho, of course, at the base, with Kante and Kovacic, and Mason Mount still on the wing, and Willian on the other side. Now, we got better at the end of the first half. I'm not saying we were great immediately, not by any means. But we finally took some control. Arsenal immediately, they felt like they were scared. They immediately dropped back by at least 10, 15, if not 20 yards immediately. Because at the start, they pressed us. They just let our 3 centre-backs have the ball. But they pressed our wing-backs and they pressed our midfielders. And our centre-backs just couldn't pass it out. You know, Rudiger's long balls, always out of bounds. Zuma didn't really try many, but when he did, always out of bounds. Tomori struggled so much against... what's the guy's name? Let me just check the lineup so I remember his name. Reece Nelson, of course. You know, I mean, Mount didn't help him enough, maybe, and Emerson, you know, of course, didn't either. But Tomori really struggled against him. It wasn't fun to watch at times. And then we just kind of gained control. And it wasn't like, you know, we started creating loads and loads of chances. We did not, by any means. But we kind of started to do a little something. We started to control the game a little bit. We started to make Arsenal run around rather than just us running after the ball. And it was great to see. It was really, really good to see. Thank you for the $4.99 donation. We're the best team in England, not Liverpool. I'm not sure if you mean Chelsea, but if so, I agree. Except that officially it's the Liverpool. But let's just go with that. Best team in England, I agree. Best team in the world. But going to the second half, it just picked on from... picked up from where the first half left off, really. We were dominant, we controlled everything, but we didn't create anything. Like, there's not many situations that we did create. And Arsenal, while we did start to dominate, they still had their chances even before we made the substitution. Kante with an unbelievable tackle to stop Lacazette from, well, having a free scoring opportunity just inside the box, as Aubameyang played it back to him and we were just hit on the break. Kante with an unbelievable tackle, and if that doesn't go right, we're probably 2-0 down at the time. So that was a huge tackle. And Arsenal, other than that, didn't really have many chances, if that, in the first half. But we still were nowhere to be seen until we made the substitution. The second half, it was kind of just the other way around. We didn't really create anything, but didn't score. But Arsenal didn't do anything. I mean, there was a couple of dodgy situations in that game today. David Luiz with a very, very, very high boots for Kante. In my opinion, at least a yellow, possibly a red card, because that's just extremely dangerous play. He literally held his studs on Kante's head height for like a full 2 seconds as, you know, he was flying towards Kante and Kante was flying towards him. So that's a bit crazy. And then Jorginho was also lucky not to be sent off for a second booking in the second half for a clear tactical foul on, I think it was Lacazette. So there was some couple of dodgy referees' decisions, I guess. But let me just get it right. Of course, we also made some other substitutions in the second half. Let me not forget about those, because we did bring on the youngster Tariq Lamptey. Thank you, all you guys, for the donations. Really do appreciate it. Just let me talk through the game, then I will get to all of the comments in the chat later on. As Tariq Lamptey, you know, mentioned him, the young fullback, the young right back, comes on for Fikayo Tomori. First, I was like, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? Why are we not taking off Rudiger? Because I didn't think Rudiger had a great game at all. And also he was down with a bit of a head injury at the time as well. But we did bring Lamptey on, and Lamptey changed our game a lot. And I understand, I wasn't sure whether that was kind of what we needed, a new fullback. But when he was on, you did see that we did need that, because we just struggled. We had Aspie, a right-footed right-footed fullback on the left, who's generally not the greatest going forward. And then we had a centre-back playing right-back on the right side. So obviously, we basically didn't have any support for our wingers from the fullback positions. And bringing Lamptey on changed that a lot. Like, he helped Willian out so much. He did a lot of good things going forward. He even did some good things defensively as well. So I really have to put a lot of praise to him. Fair play. He came on in the 60th minute of 59th. And then in the 70th minute, Callum Hudson-Odoi came on for Mateo Kovacic. Not exactly sure why Kovacic. I would have brought him on for either Mount or Kante. But in the end, we won. So what can I say? We turned it around literally after that. So I'm not complaining, especially seeing as Mason Mount hit the free kick that Jorginho made it 1-1 from. So, can I really say that Mount should have come off? I don't know. But that is when we made it 1-1 in the 83rd minute. Thanks to an absolute howler by Mr. Bernd Leno. The Arsenal keeper that they keep saying is better than Kepa for some reason. But yeah, not Jorginho. Mason Mount puts in... I wouldn't necessarily say it was a great free kick, because I don't think he meant to put it to Jorginho. But he just put a decent free kick into the box, into the danger area. I'm not sure whether Jorginho and Torreira kind of tumbled and Torreira fell over, but out of nowhere, Jorginho was completely unmarked at the far post after Bernd Leno tried to catch the ball and kind of just grabbed thin air instead. The ball flew right through his hands, really. Fell to Jorginho, and he just tapped it in from inside the 6-yard box, and that made it 1-0 in the 83rd minute, like I say, and I was already happy with that, I didn't, like I said, recently when we went 1-0 down, that was it for us. We were done and out for, that was just it. And today, to make things even better, we make it 2-1 through Tammy Abraham in the 87th minute to get the win. absolutely buzzing. Like, what more can you really ask for? What more can you really want? And it was a beautiful counter-attack as well. I didn't see the start of the Willian thing back, but my girlfriend said that Willian played the ball to Tammy for us to start the counter-attack. And then Willian went seemingly on a mad run, especially as it was the 87th minute. People say he doesn't work hard. To catch up with Tammy, Tammy plays it wide to Willian. Willian with a good cutback rather, to Tammy again, who, if people didn't notice that, if people maybe didn't pay that much attention to it, if you look at how Tammy controls that ball, is genius. It is absolutely world class. Like, people have a go at Tammy, and I'm not saying he was great in the last 2 games, definitely wasn't. But not like strikers that aren't very, very good don't do that. They don't do that. So what he did basically, when he controlled the ball, is as the ball from Willian was coming in from the right to him, he was with his back to the goal. He let it run a little bit, kind of like to make the defender think that he was going to turn with the ball behind him. But he let it run a little bit, then stopped it and put it back before him, meaning that Mustafi took the step to the other side, meaning that Tammy opened up half a yard or a yard of space for himself, took it on his right foot, and then managed to nutmeg Leno to put the ball, basically on the ground into the far corner to make it 2-1. And you just can't be happier. Like, I have to be happy with Lambs today, as much as he got the starting formation wrong, and ideally we don't, keep starting, ideally we don't get the starting formation wrong every time now. He changed it up today. He changed it up early today. I didn't expect him to make a change in the first half. He changed it up, and it worked. He made another substitution in Lamptey coming on, as much as it's risky. I mean, that was the kid's debut. He brought him on, and he changed it. Even Hudson-Odoi, when he came on, was better than in the last game and in the other substitution appearances for him. I'm not saying he was great by any means, but he was better, I thought. He looked a bit more confident, a bit more comfortable, and didn't make as many silly mistakes, even though there were still a couple in there. But generally, you just have to praise Lampard today. As much as we criticise his in-game management, today was good. Today it worked, and we got a big rival, comeback win against a big rival in Arsenal. And, what more can you really, really ask for? I mean, we were in a tough situation. Had we lost today, it would have been 6 points from 8 games. I mean, now it's still only 9 points from 8 games, but it's still a lot better. And for the whole, hoping for top 4 and everything, we need big results. Of course, eventually, we just absolutely... we just need to get on a run now. That's what we should have done after beating Spurs. We should have got another win against Southampton, and then gotten another win here, and then against Brighton. That would have been great for our form, for our run, for the confidence. It would have been great. Let's start the run now, I guess. Let's beat Brighton on New Year's Day, and then let's just kick on from there. That would be absolutely unbelievable. And honestly, I can't not be happy today. I can't not be happy. As much as the first half an hour pissed me off, everything after that was really, really good, and I'm very fucking pleased, very fucking pleased. And as to people that say you have been robbed, like I say, Jorginho, yes, he should have been sent off with a second booking. But way before that, David Luiz should have been booked or sent off straight away for the high boot. And then when he did get booked, that would have been his second booking. Of course, you could argue maybe he doesn't commit that foul if he's booked already, but that's kind of irrelevant. So the referee had some dodgy decisions both ways, in my opinion. I think it's very, very easy for Arsenal fans to just say, oh, the ref was shy. I don't think it's as easy as that, in all honesty. I guess there was a small penalty shout for Chelsea in the first half as well. I didn't think it was one. Some people did. I thought it was. I guess it is what it is. Need to beat Brighton. I agree. Let me just get to a couple of messages that you guys put in the chat, and then I'm going to leave it there. How long have I been going for anyway? Well, only 15 minutes. I thought I'd been going for longer. But, let's just mention a couple of things from the chat. And before I do that, as you just put a couple of things in the chat that I can actually talk about, and, the questions that you asked me or whatever, let me just talk through the team. Because Kepa, I mean, he couldn't really do anything. I mean, the Willock shot that Willock just put wide in the second half, Kepa couldn't have done anything about it. The goal, I'm not going to, like I said earlier, I'm not going to criticize him for not saving it, but it would be fun if at some point he starts saving a couple of these, at some point, I guess. Sorry guys, a lot of talking, need some water. The centre-back three, to be honest, they were all awful. From Rudiger to Zuma to Tomori, they were all bloody shit, frankly. They were all awful. I mean, Rudiger and Zuma were better than, in a back four, I guess, and as a centre-back two. But also, we just had so much more control of the game that also didn't really threaten our centre-back so much. And even then, there was still some dodgy moments, especially by Rudiger today. Tomori struggled a lot, like I say, but then, of course, he was subbed off. Emerson was just shocking in every part of the game. The goal we conceded in possession defensively was just really, really, really poor today. Aspie didn't really do much either way, neither positively nor negatively, so I don't really know what to say about him. Kante had some incredible moments, some incredible tackles. some hugely important tackles as well. And then some other moments where he just lost the ball every time, made the wrong decision every time. So he was a bit of a strange one. Kovacic generally I thought was a bit quiet today. Mount was very quiet, but then assisted the equaliser, I guess, with that free kick. So I guess that makes up for a little bit of something. But other than that, he tried to press, but maybe he seemed a little bit tired later on. He didn't really seem to move much anymore, and he didn't really seem to press much anymore. But whenever he was on the ball, he didn't really manage to do anything with it. Willian also, it was kind of just that period when we got our 2 goals. I mean, we were generally quite decent second half, and once Jorginho came on, but we just controlled it mostly from midfield and with the fullbacks, rather than our attacking players actually doing anything specific, if that makes sense. Anything like Tammy, I thought had an awful game until he scored the goal. In all honesty, like I thought he was pretty damn poor. Most of his touches were poor. Most of his layoff passes were poor. But then he gets the win in the end. So what can you really say? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what a striker is meant to do. There's a lot of strikers in world football that don't really do much and then end up scoring the winner. And at the end of the day, that's what a striker is there for. That's always my preference. Like I'd rather Tammy do that than like. That's why I don't rate Giroud that much, than be involved in every bit of build-up play that we have but never score, and then we lose the game because we don't score, because he, as the striker, doesn't score much. And then Tammy does, as much as he's frustrated me up until that point, if you want to say that. And Lamptey, was very impressed with him when he came on. Jorginho, incredible, of course. Again, though, a bit lucky not to be sent off. And Hudson-Odoi, I mentioned already. Willian was so much better than Mount. Oh, of course he was. Of course he was. Jorginho, man of the match. I kind of agree. Tammy, 14 goals, blood. Is that in all competitions? Yeah, it is, because it's 12 in the Prem now, which is pretty good. Team reminds me of Liverpool 3 seasons ago. With consistency and a few additions to the squad, will be the ones to beat. Well, if Lampard can turn into Klopp, then yes, because he's not quite Klopp yet. But you're not wrong. Like, we are a little bit like Liverpool were a few years ago, when we can be really, really good, but then we weren't always really, really good. Or, you know, they weren't always really, really good. And sometimes defensively shaky, sometimes they scored loads, sometimes they didn't score. You know what I mean? Like, it's that. AFTV on fire, yo. Yeah, they probably will be. But they try to cling on to the positives, like, oh, we were better under Arteta. You know, let them hope. They're still like, what, 12th or something? So let them have their fun. And also the light in my face is quite bright, so I can barely actually read the screen. Let me put the screen brightness up. Kante is poor. Not sure, I wouldn't agree with is poor, but was a bit poor, fair enough. Goodbye to Emerson now? No. He's clearly not that comfortable at wing back for whatever reason, but you know, yes it is. Zane, again, thank you for the £5 almost donation. We will rise from the ashes. Tell me, is B-Tech Drogba, London is red. Well, you were scared of the real Drogba, and now you're scared of B-Tech Drogba, apparently. But, you know, I'm not sure what ashes you want to rise from. Sancho in 2020, we'll see. Lamptey should get some playtime. See, the thing is with Lamptey that, of course, if Reece James isn't injured, then for what Lamptey provided today, we have Reece James, who still is a lot better. You know, Lamptey is really young, so I'm not sure that will happen. But, yeah, I'm not sure. 3-4-3 only works against 3-4-3 teams. Yes, and Tottenham. But it only worked against Tottenham because we surprised them with it. Because no one expected, well, we kind of thought about it, but not, like Mourinho, I don't think expected us to do it. And if you don't set your team up to play against it, it's difficult. And Arsenal knew exactly what to do. They knew we were going to play 3 at the back today. Southampton kind of prepared for it a bit. I think they prepared for both, but I think Arsenal mostly prepared for playing at the 3 at the back against us with being at 3 at the back. I think that's the situation. That's why we struggle so much. Like they tore us to pieces, to be honest. They just didn't create much. Like, they were decent, but they weren't as good as some people thought they were because they didn't create much. And sometimes when you dominate, you have to do a little bit more with it. And then if you don't see it out at the end, then you just look like mugs. You know, a bit like us against Spurs. We should have won that game by more. Because we won 2-0 in the end, no one cares, and it's fine. And it was still a great performance. But it was kind of like our game against Spurs was like Arsenal's first half an hour against us for the entire game. You know, just complete domination, in all honesty. It was just complete domination. But what did Cho do? Well, he just brought some pace onto the wing and someone that finally went into the 1v1 situations on the left-hand side because Mount just didn't provide that. And it just meant that Arsenal didn't always have the time to be in perfect position and that they had to drop off, which meant that we had a little bit more spaces around the box just because they, like on Mount, they knew he was either going to pass or shoot us across. You know, with Hudson-Odoi, they're not sure. Does he go into dribble? And then you can't lunge in because then he, skips past you, then he's through. So you can't really do that. Who should we sign in 2020? I'll get into that, in another video or whatever, because I've been going for 20 minutes now. I think I'm going to leave it here, guys. I really do appreciate all of you guys that did tune in. Of course, like I said in the beginning, please be sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. Drop a like if you did enjoy this live stream, or drop a like if you're watching this as a video later. I massively appreciate that. Don't forget to hit the notification bell button. And yeah, up the Chelsea. buzzing, absolutely buzzing today. And I'll see you when I see you.